My motto is people by people. They've been pitched not only by me, but by so many salespeople. How do you stand out from the rest of the people? My style is more like go with authenticity and really with the heart of solving problems. That's how you gain trust. You get ghosted, no one's talking to you, but you always try to look at the positive, because as a salesperson, like if you really go down to the spiral of negativity, you're gonna hate your job every time.
Welcome back to diaXpora, the podcast where we explore the journeys of global professionals building meaningful careers in Australia and beyond. Today's guest is someone whose story is all about bold transitions from Colombia to Australia, from pharma to tech, and from consulting to digital media sales. He's now a senior account manager at Google. And with a decade of experience in global sales, business development, and digital strategy. Please welcome Sergio Valdes. Welcome to the show, Sergio. We're really glad to have you.
Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
So let's start from the beginning of your journey, and because the podcast focused a lot on kind of international student journey. Tell me a bit about how you moved from Colombia to Australia. How did you first move and what brought you here?
Thank you, Taylor. I think I was working already in Colombia, as you well mentioned, in the pharma industry. I was working with Pfizer. Primarily, at the time, I really wanted to go from sales to marketing inside the pharma industry. The thing about Colombia is like, you really have to get like, if you want to get promoted, you need to have like a postgraduate education. Wanted to do a master's degree outside of Colombia is really valuable. Therefore, the decision to actually take the leap in my career to do a master's degree after I just finished my bachelor's and having some 3-4 years of experience there. So that was the initial thought of going overseas. Australia was not part of my list. I wanted to go to UK. It was really, I even started to pay the fees and everything, but I actually had family in Australia and they were pulling me. So it was like, why do you want to go to the UK? Like you have us here, like it would be easier for you. So long story short, I actually took that leap of faith and actually made the decision to come to Australia instead of the UK to do a marketing degree.
Yeah, so it's quite a bit like further from home, but in the another way, you have family in Australia, so I guess it made sense then.
Yeah.
What were those first months like when you first moved, and when you first came, did you have to land your first job right away, or what was that like landing your first job in Australia?
It was really different. I really never thought it was going to be that challenging. Obviously, coming from a background in pharma sales and being a senior in the role and coming back to Australia with pretty much nothing. Yes, I was living with my family, and that was a great support, but I was yet no one here. So having to also challenge myself with the limitations of a student visa, working only 20 hours a week, definitely was a big challenge to fall into any sort of full-time role in pharma. So I did start to apply to pharma roles, but I didn't have any experience. It was, completely new to the country. So I didn't land my first job straight away. It was a constant seek and trial and error. I actually got myself working in pop-up store in Westfields, trying to sell coffee machines and things like that.
Wow.
To pivot myself into sales career before I actually landed my first job in sales.
Right, so like when you were studying, you were taking up kind of like part-time jobs to do not pharma sales, but retail sales and all kinds of other types of sales.
Correct.
It sounds like.
Yes.
How were those casual experiences like? Did you feel like they helped you to kind of get to know the culture here and all that, or?
Absolutely. I think it was like it was the best practice, right? Like, could have a sense of how things move here. how people speak, what kind of things are they looking for in terms of experience when you show up with your CV and kind of show up to an interview. It was definitely worth it in terms of getting some experience and get my foot in the door in the industry as a seller. It doesn't matter selling whatever, and then obviously further down the track, I was able to uncover more opportunities in sales just because I had that previous retail experience. But then I guess the key was, as long as I start having those kind of job opportunities that I could apply, finding the right job title of things that I could do in sales was the key to progression.
That's an important tip. Did you fall into the digital media sales role, or did you ever imagine you'd be in digital media sales?
Not really. It was not part of the plan as well. It was something that, I start looking for more opportunities, and I think part of that constant seeking was, what am I looking to do that feels aligned with my natural skills? And looking at, with this mindset, I was able to sort of find jobs and job titles in Seek, LinkedIn, Indeed, that really aligned to something that I could do or sell. And then, I was just blasting applications, as you would imagine, international student, no real savings or job, really young. I came here 21. I just wanted a job, right? And definitely, one of the things that I highlight about that time, it was I found this opportunity with this small media agency, and they said to me, well, do you know how to pick up the phone? Do you know how to sell? I said, yeah, they give me the shot. So that's how I actually fall into the media sort of consultancy world I said to myself, well, I've been selling pharma, I've been selling coffee, I've been selling this kind of thing, I can sell anything.
Why not? You can sell
let's
anything.
give it a try.
Yeah. So when you were making those decisions, applying for different jobs, what were your options and what were the other things that you were looking at? Did you only look at media, or did you look at any jobs where you can sell anything, or how did you think about it? How did you go about?
That's a good question. Normally, I remember me looking at specific job titles. For instance, I was looking part-time roles because I had my limitation on the visa. Looking part-time jobs such as customer service, sales representative, focus myself in this kind of appointment setter, this kind of entry-level junior sales role that I knew I could crack in because I have some experience already. And I knew if I started slow and little, I could probably show up, who am I, and give myself a better shot in the future. So I start targeting these kind of job titles, and that's how I actually got into different interviews, not only for media sales, but I got interview for other things. But honestly, the ultimate decision was driven by who was paying more at the time. So I actually got that chance.
Of course, sometimes at the end of the day, it's where is the best offer, which is the best offer you have on the table. So, and you've mentioned during these times there must have been difficult moments, challenges you found along the way. Can you tell me about one of those difficult moments, and how did you overcome that difficulty that you faced?
I think definitely through the journey, when I was a student, I actually moved out from my family house and moved by myself. I already had some part-time roles that I was doing, but for some reason my contract was over. I didn't have that continuity into what I was doing before because it was casual. It was really hard to get a full-time. So I literally touched rock bottom at the moment, no job, international student, I live by myself. That was really sort of hard at the moment because I didn't have that support of my family anymore as I moved out. Then it took some time to be strategic about applying to those kind of roles again, leveraging contacts, using LinkedIn, for instance, better, start making new connections, looking at the right places in the right time. And then eventually I just got a new job, and that got me in my feet again and sort of finding myself into, oh my God, this is actually working again. Like I can close deals, build my confidence again. So it wasn't an automatically bounce back. It took some time, but I didn't give up. You know, like it was attitude. Like I really want to.
You were persistent.
Overcome. Yeah.
How long did it take? Do you remember? Like between.
Maybe like 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, 3 months, no job, no income. International student. Yeah.
I do remember too a time when I lost because I think for a moment you could work full time here in Australia because of COVID rules, and then that changed, and so I lost my full time job when I was doing my studies, and it took me about 2 to 3 months to find a part time. Role. I mean, I need to continue to support myself, pay my tuition, all that stuff, right? It's a lot of stress. And I remember I was just like, I'm just gonna keep going until I find something.
Exactly.
I was really close to saying, you know what, let's just maybe pause for a bit, when I actually landed the role that I've been in, and it was definitely a really tough time.
Challenging.
Trying to.
I feel you.
Yeah, absolutely right. But I think it builds character, it builds persistence, and it's such a big part of being a salesperson. Is about being able to take the no's and to continue to be persistent, not be fazed by all of the rejections, right? So I think that builds into your character as a salesperson and your strength. It plays.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you were to maybe tell yourself when you were younger, or if you were to tell like an international student who is early career and trying to start building their career here, if you could give them advice, what would you tell them?
Start looking for what's your natural skill set. Like be authentic, people buy people. If you are able to be authentic, people will buy from you, especially if you're trying to get yourself cracking in sales. But in whatever you do, like just be authentic. It may sound cliche, but just don't give up, right? Like even in a dark room, you're always gonna find a little bit of light, and please go forward to find it and to open it, because you can definitely do it if you put your mind to it. That would be the best advice that I give myself.
Yeah. So don't give up and be authentic.
Yeah.
Kind of lean into where you feel natural and where your natural strengths are. Yeah, I think those are poignant advice for anyone, not just early career. And so if you have to compare the time you worked in pharma and now in tech, which do you like more? Do you miss being in pharma at all? Are there pros and cons about being in either industry?
That's a very good question. I do have deep feelings about pharma. Like it definitely marked myself in a massive way. I missed a lot of things, like the international travel, the hotels, the dining and wining, meeting doctors. I was like meeting incredibly smart people, like neurosurgeons, cardiovascular surgeons, pain specialists, neurologists, you name it. Like literally the most well-prepared people in the world. They're saving lives. It's a different kettle of fish from what sales in media is, where everything is performance driven, it's metrics and it's numbers and it's revenue. It's completely different. So I kind of miss that interaction with these kind of people who is actually saving lives and prescribing medication, not just for the sake of it. Though the perks of working in media open up a different dimension that I could not get with pharma. So the thing that I really like about tech and media and the online world is like you get to know about e-commerce, you get to know about business development inside internet. So even if you have all this knowledge, being a recognized doctor and all that, like you can buy your freedom if you build your own business online. And there's infinite ways in this online economy with AI and what's going on in this world. So I do miss some pieces about pharma because it's like where I come from. However, I appreciate what I have right now, and I feel there is a lot to do in both worlds.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a bit of freedom in the kind of possibilities that are available in tech and the kind of speed you can move with, I guess. And then pharma, there's a lot more meaning to it. There's a lot more like, oh, you're doing something very meaningful and you're working with extremely smart people all the time in pharma. And everyone's trying to work hard because there's a patient at the end of the line. You're not just trying to push some numbers or, I mean, obviously you have to be competitive with the markets, but at the end of the day, there's a patient on the other end, and you're always working towards that. There's always a values-driven metric here. And then in tech, it's a bit more free, it's a bit more open, and it's more full of possibilities. And I guess that helps. Both have good and bad, and pros and cons, and how it fits into your and what you love doing on a day-to-day basis. So do you ever think like about your health background and how that helps your work now? And if you are to kind of bring some of that health background into your work now, how would you do it?
Look, I already tried that a little bit. Obviously, my background in consultancy, media sales, and all that, I get to work with some amazing people as well, business owners, C-level executive in mid-market companies and also enterprise companies where, as you said before, the window of possibility is infinite. So I took a lot of that knowledge of building businesses, not only in tech but different verticals, and I tried to open my own business in health tech, creating like a marketplace for different medical practitioners that could connect with consumers that need these kind of services, like in-home physiotherapy or nursing or psychology, and also connecting them like via telehealth. So I try already to use some of the knowledge that I have in healthcare and attach that to benefit the government in Australia have, like the NDIS and whatnot. So I feel there is a lot to do yet there. It was just not the right time for me. So I believe maybe later down the track, it could be an opportunity for me to use the knowledge that I have in healthcare. Just right now I have to focus on one thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there are a few health tech companies in Australia that are doing a lot of cool things like eucalyptus, like Heidi Health. And I mean, if you ever want to make a pivot into one of those startups or building your own, I think there's a lot of opportunities for new ideas, especially with AI and how you can use it a lot more flexibly now. You just have to find the right business model and the right market gap. Okay, so now I think let's talk a little bit more deeply about your craft, which I would say like digital media sales. And here is where I want to dig deeper into how do you think about sales? How do you find the sales patterns that work for you? How do you think about the strategy around the targets that you go after, the kind of services that you pitch to them, and how you deliver that pitch and how you craft that path towards the customer? Maybe you can start with a little bit about how you think about your sales strategy in your playbook.
So I like to put it in two buckets. So firstly, in sales, at least in my view and my years of experience, you have the account managers and you have that I call them the farmers, and then you have the hunters. The hunters are the sellers. Like this is completely two different worlds within sales. I feel, and well, not feel, but I know based on personality tests that I've taken, based on business coach that I have in the past, I definitely fall in the bucket of the hunter. I'm a natural hunter. Like, I'm the type of guy that likes to meet people. I embody the rush of talking with a stranger. I like to go and present, put in my suit, go to a round table with executive, present, doing PowerPoints. This kind of thing is like what I do and what I like. Part of this job, and back to your point about strategy and being a hunter, is the actual prospecting. If you want to be a hunter, your skill set has to be, you have to be a top prospector. In this case, you use different kind of software that allows you to prospect. Like LinkedIn is a great tool. LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you can create a list of prospects based on company size, on revenue, and create that target persona that you're really looking for and align to the product or service that you're selling. So that's part of like my playbook inside of the hunter side of the sales scheme. Also being able to create like a cadence of meetings, like you have email reach out, you have LinkedIn reach out, you have cold calling reach out. So you need to be confident about picking up the phone and connecting with a stranger. Have a cold script, build one, iterate, repeat. Go through rejection until you get the yeses. So this is like the hunter sales side of things. The account manager side is a bit different. It's upselling, it's customer service. So it's a completely different strategy.
Relationship building.
Correct. And then you really have to go down and deeper to create that trust with your customer. And you act that liaison of the product and service you're providing, and being able to actually sign an incremental contract for the next 1 or 2 years. So that's why I like to define it differently. It's a different playbook for either one.
Right, yeah.
And really depends
more
on
like
who
an
you're looking
AE,
for.
would you say like an account executive would be
Correct.
more of it? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So account executive, it's more like the hunter, yes.
Yeah, okay. And usually with the products and services that you sell, is it pretty clear the kind of customer profile that you go after? Or is it also pretty nebulous who you go out, and how do you figure out that within that vagueness who you go after, who you should go after, and how do you take them through the journey? Or is it very clear? Yeah.
Sometimes it's a bit nuanced. You really, like, especially if you work as a hunter, like if you are a seller, you need to know well who's your target market based on your existing clients, based on if you have any case studies, based on your product. Like, the key here will be understanding really your product and what problem are you solving, and being able to also understand the financial behind it, because if you understand how's your
those decisions,
correct, and what your pricing model is, then you will be able to define, okay, this company size may be able to afford me, this company revenue will be able to pay for the service that I'm providing. And then you start, okay, well, this is a company, this is the industry, this is a segment, this is a category. What are the job titles that I'm targeting? If it's a B2B sale, if we're talking about direct-to-consumer sale, it's a bit different. You have to know, like, a niche market, like, is it an age demographic that you're targeting? So it really depends where you're going after, and understanding the fundamentals of the financial with the product is just essential for either one.
Right, and I think that sometimes I see in certain places procurement is also like another beast in the puzzle, because you're not only dealing with the people who are going to use your product, but also the people who are going to help with procurement of that product, and that's everything with the other people who are making the decision as well, the finance people and the procurement team, and sometimes there's a process, and sometimes it's a very burdensome process. So trying to understand that, I think, especially for the hunter, it's a very difficult task, and sometimes it could be really tiring because you hit roadblocks without knowing what you're hitting, kind of. In your experience of hunting in that way, how do you navigate those roadblocks and try to sense, like, where is it working more than others? Because I'm sure there's so many rejections and no's. How do you find the yes and kind of scale the yeses?
That's a very valid question, actually. I get this asked a lot in interviews when I was doing interviews in the past for hunter roles specifically. And look, everything it's based on. I was trained with this MEDDIC sales framework. It allows you to identify within...
MEDDIC, you said?
Yeah, MEDDIC. MEDDIC, MEDDIC.
Oh, so that's okay. What does it stand for?
I don't have it at the top of my head, just not the actual framework, but part of it is identifying the champions and the economic factors within how you approach finding a customer persona in the decision making of each company size. So as you said before, procurement is a big roadblock, and also finance, but they are not as hard to crack when you have the right influencer and the right decision maker bought into the product or service you're trying to sell. So they usually are convinced by the people inside the company that's using the product and really is solving the problem. So that I feel that would be the easiest part, because once you actually present the solution to the decision maker, and I put a specific example, if you are an agency selling demand generation, which is lead generation, cost per lead model, you normally have the decision maker is the CMO. He doesn't care too much about you as an agency because he's higher up in the chain, and he's not hands on the tool. He's not creating the leads. He's not managing the paid media. So he's the decision maker, but your champion, and this is where MEDDIC comes in, your champion, the influencer, the one that talks in the ear of the CMO, is the marketing manager. So you go after the right job title, talk to the influencer, you win the influencer. Once you win the influencer, you bring in more senior stakeholders because it's a clear problem. You ask the influencer, can we have a meeting with your boss, your CMO? And then that's the next step. When actually you presenting that, let's say 1, 2, 3 meetings, it makes complete sense to bring the decision maker because he already warmed the map for you, right? So then when the CMO is there in the call and you're able to present and address all the pain points, then that is when you get the win. And obviously the CMO talks directly to a CFO and to the finance guy, and that's a closed deal. So you should be able to crack very well and map very well who is your decision maker, who's your champion inside specific accounts that you're targeting.
So you've talked about your sales framework, MEDDIC, that you go through. When you went through your sales career, was there a moment where you felt like this is what I do, this is my thing? When did it click for you?
That's a very interesting question. I feel like the way I measure it was when I was seeing that I was making money out of it, and you normally hit like certain threshold where you feel like, okay, this is actually working, and I have 3-4 years doing this consistently. The breakthrough moment was, firstly, I was able to fund my master degrees in Australia based off my sales commission out of my consultancy job in this small company called Accumulus. Basically, I had my base salary, but I was also making good commissions. I got promoted from business development manager to head of partnerships and growth. So I actually got a team that I was training, like SDRs, help them to qualify opportunities, pivot to new products. So I was doing a little bit more of the big picture stuff. That was the moment when I was like, okay, I actually transpassed the threshold of, I don't know, $7,000 a month. Like I was making beyond that, and commissions were coming through. I was paying my master degree. I was able to travel again. I went to Europe, went to all different places, and I was like working remotely. That was the moment where I figured out this is what I know how to do, and I'm doing it well. Like definitely was the breakthrough. And
did you, like in those experiences, were you trained a lot, like on how to do this, like all this MEDDIC and framework, or did you have to figure out on your own? Were you would you go through like sales training processes or?
I was very blessed and lucky to have a business owner that trusts me, my boss at the time. He taught me a lot about sales. He was in the industry 20 plus years in Australia, done it all, pretty rich guy, well known in the industry. He definitely taught me a lot. So I was literally trained by him and the rest of the people that I met through him. And other things I have to figure it out myself, but it was a huge support having someone that believed in your ability, give you the job title, give you the tools, invest in you, pay you good commission and good money. That was definitely a big milestone to have someone like that supporting your career.
So there was somebody more experienced guiding you on your way, and as you've mentioned before as well, there were also sales training. In other areas, you were also taken through sales training and coaching.
Correct.
Right? Yeah, and I'm sure those really helped a lot in kind of helping you hone your sales skill. You've also mentioned that you led teams, right? When you lead a sales team, do you also take them through the similar kind of training and help guide them? How do you approach building your sales team?
Look, it's a different skill set just because you rely a lot in others, not only in your own ability, and how you communicate and build others' confidence into do it themselves sufficiently. So I like to coach in a way that they actually receive a correct feedback on how they're doing the things they're doing. Like I'm the type of person that I use the one-to-one coaching with my mentees and literally listening to call recordings to be able to give feedback on the spot, probably say things like this, or when you have an objection, try to handle it this way. Let's take notes down next time I join the call with you. There are some sales leaders that they just sit behind and they just okay, give feedback, but they probably don't inject themselves into the calls with the sales rep. So I think this is pretty useful because they also see your style. They are able to see you in action, what it's working before. So in that sense, definitely I did have someone else to support me into interview process of hiring these kind of salespeople. We put them through personality tests. We make sure that they have an actual level of influence into their personality traits, so they have a level of resiliency to be able to afford the burden of being working in sales. So once you qualify these people very well, you can work with them.
And there's always some competition in a sales team, right? You're always trying to outdo your colleagues, but then you also want to work coherently as a team, and you want to be able to hunt down big opportunities together maybe. How do you approach that balance of yes, you have to be competitive, but you do still need to work coherently as a team? How do you approach that?
I think that's a bit nuanced as well, as you said, because we're working with people. It's natural that everyone is driven by a dollar figure as well, especially in the tech side of things, and in the media sales. So if you have a level of be as part of a sales leader, be also a human being, you really understand that you're working with other people that is making your job easier. Get together as a team is important. It doesn't feel isolated. The moment you start, especially I remember being a sales manager when I was through COVID, it was harder to have this space with people face to face, so everything was online, working remotely. You still have a little bit of drama in between, and trying to manage these situations, I guess it was a bit easier when you get together as a team and discuss. Yes, in person, but however, it's not impossible to do it online. It's more about really addressing the problems in the group with everyone in the call, not really isolating conversations. Doesn't really work well. Address the problems, the issues, or the matters that has to be addressed at a team level, and being able to cascade down the information from the higher level, and set the goal and the direction. You also are there to not only support their coaching, but being able to join calls if you have to, not like you being perceived as a manager that doesn't join the calls or do the hard work with the people.
Yeah.
So then you earn some respect by the rest of the teams, and if they working towards a goal together, even though they compete, making things like a pool of commission in terms of individual commission, or being really personalized into the level of seniority each of these individuals are. Like, you're not going to put a high bar to a junior person and the same bar to a senior guy that's been doing the job for a while. So being really flexible depending on experience, and addressing the things in the meetings with the team together, not like isolating conversations.
That's true, because sometimes maybe there are times I can think of where you maybe like there's a very big account that maybe two people are trying to go after, or the two people are trying to compete to go after. How do you deal with a situation like that? Like, do you do something where you have a pool of commissions more so you work as a team to work with different influencers in that business? Or do you try to, I don't know, pit them against each other and see whoever wins first get the commission? Or how do you think about that?
I like to really frame it into, especially if you have a CRM, like call it Salesforce, HubSpot, whatever you're using. Anyone has a rule of an assignment of a specific account or prospect. So if you depending of how your demand generation it's working for the company, like you get a lead, this lead get assigned to a sales representative, he pick up the phone, he pass it to an AE, and that's how you get, if you actually define the rules from the very beginning, you don't have that kind of situation where you have two people talking to the same account, which is counterproductive, because obviously on the other side looks bad, like, oh my God, I'm getting reached out by these two different or three different people from the same company, so that doesn't look good. You don't want that to happen. So it's either you stick with the rules of assignation to an account that comes into someone else, and then that avoids any confusion by someone reaching out or double reaching out to an account, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so you set the rules from early on about the area that each kind of salesperson look after.
Correct.
And try to not have overlap between what they're going after. That makes sense. How would you define your sales style? Then would you have like a very specific style? Like, I've heard of challenger or like personable style. What would be your sales style?
I think I like to be more personal. Like, obviously, it's different when you're talking or meeting a stranger for the first time virtually, and then you actually have the chance to meet them in person. I like that interaction a bit more, but I'm very flexible as well and dynamic into how the conversation is going. My motto is people by people. Like, if you really are authentic, I always question myself, am I being authentic in this call? Am I showing hunger for a sale? Am I really solving a problem for the client? Am I going beyond for them to actually know I care about what they are looking for from this engagement? I put myself into their shoes, and I know that they've been pitched not only by me but by so many salespeople. How do you stand out from the rest of the people? So if you come, my style is more like go with authenticity, and really with the heart of solving problems. If I get that from the client, like, hey, what did you get out of it? Not my gain, but what do you get out of it as a client? If you put that in either money value, if they care about money, or if they care about optimization, what is success looks like for you? I love to ask that kind of question. Yeah. And then put that in an outcome. That's how you gain trust. So I always go with that mindset. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably one of the most, I think like the values driven or like the pain point driven kind of sales, I think is what I like seeing the most as well. If I've worked with salespeople before, that's the kind of style that I usually like to see as well. in terms of your go-to-market strategy, when you have to do a bit high-level work where you're thinking about partnerships, about bigger picture things, how do you usually shape your go-to-market strategy? How do you think about that? Maybe more big picture sort of questions?
Definitely, the first thing you look at is what are you trying to sell? Like your product or service, what's the pricing model? And based on that, you can create a market target, like really going after a niche of people that share something in common. Or if it's a B2B sale, try to identify what are the job titles that will be likely driven to use something like this. And then you can go down to company size based on the pricing that you have in your product or service, because you need to find as well who can afford you. You're not going to sell the wrong thing to the wrong company because it's going to be unachievable for them. So basically, understanding the financials behind your product, you should be able to identify off the back of that the target persona that you're reaching out, and then off the back of the people being what is the total addressable market available into the territories that you are selling into, and having like a total addressable market will help you to have a better persona that you're reaching out. So all of these things come together. It's a bit nuanced, but having a proper strategy really helps when you're cracking into new accounts.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've mentioned before when you came into your first sales role, there was a lot of support from your business owner as well. They were there to help you think about the market and the profile, or maybe also the type of people to go after and how to influence an account, like you've shared, starting from the influencers who would love and support, who are the champions for your product, all the way to decision makers and all the other people in the, I guess, all the influencers in an account. And yeah, I think that it's definitely a craft that gets honed over time. And if you're interested in meeting new people, are you comfortable talking to strangers, you're comfortable navigating a bit of ambiguity, entering into an account, and you're driven by not just the commissions, the money side, but also the ability to win new business and do something helpful for your client, I think that would be a good fit for somebody if that's what they're interested in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think maybe more on like a kind of personal side, on a day-to-day basis these days, if you're going into work and you're having a really good day, what are the 3 things that are going well for you in a normal day?
Definitely the good things start piling up the yeses. If you get, at least in my job as an account manager, it's a bit different when I was a hunter. When you get some sort of engagement from your clients, are you solving problems that they care about, and they give you a little bit more of insight of like, hey, I'm really struggling about this, you did a great job sort of giving me this insight, I can apply it, I'll tell you how it goes. And then you get another email reply from a little pitch that you gave another account about something completely different. It's like, yes, this makes sense. It's a small win, you know, like someone is telling you whatever you're doing is working for me. It could be via email, it could be via LinkedIn, it could be via phone call. You have a pretty decent meeting and it's a happy client. So those little things start adding up. Instead of like going to a different down spiral, when normally happens as well when you get ghosted, no one answers to you.
So that would be a bad day.
Exactly.
A bad day is a day when you get ghosted.
Yeah, you get ghosted, no one is talking to you, you get a lot of problems, people is like, hey, nothing is working, like, okay, this is a different day. But definitely get the good side of things is when people is actually engaging positively.
Yeah. Would you say there's like 50-50 good days and bad days for you? Or
I don't know if I could put it like that even.
Yeah, of course.
It should be a bit more of a roller coaster. Like
right.
sometimes it's 100% good, sometimes it's 2% good, you know.
Yeah.
But you always try to look at the positive, because as a salesperson, like if you really go down to the spiral of negativity, you're gonna hate your job every time. So.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely need a lot of like persistence and like the ability to go through the lows when you're in a sales role, because you're under the pressure and your performance is marked very clearly by the financials. So it's very clear in front of you how you're doing. I guess I want to end this section of the podcast to kind of prompt you about the future, kind of like I know you've mentioned a bit about your next steps and where you feel like you want to go, but can you tell me a bit more about what's next for you in your journey, you feel like?
Yeah, I can share a bit more about that. It's a bit of a mixed bag, because I always felt like this entrepreneurial side of me has never left me. Already tried a business, as I said before, it failed, but I still want to keep going, and I see many people that I've met through my career very successfully own business and buy their freedom through businesses, and also help people at the same time in different ways. So that feels like a natural step for me. Right now, trying to build my business as well while I'm working, like I'm pivoting into selling coffee online. So now I'm creating my online shop into the e-commerce technology, and let's see how we go, right? But I really sort of don't want to let that go, a part of my normal job. Like I still want to.
I mean, you're already so entrepreneurial in your sales journey.
Yeah,
so.
I'm trying. It's not easy, but it's good. It's good to have the mindset.
Yeah, and I think when you're creative and when you love to like connect with new people and build something new, like it's a really addictive feeling. It's really hard to let go of feeling like, hey, there's something tickling and I really want to do it. And do you have a link to your coffee shop live? Is it a Shopify?
Yeah, actually, it's on I'm building it on WordPress.
Okay.
And then I'm actually linking Shopify soon on it.
Okay.
It's literally in the design, but as soon as I already have the domain and everything, but happy to share it as soon as it's ready. Yes.
Yeah, we can share it to everybody. Like share it to I drink coffee. I get coffee.
That's it. Everyone has to try live coffee, right?
Well, exactly. So maybe if you need more customers, you need more content about coffee, like we're very happy to share it with the diaspora community, with everybody. Everybody needs coffee, so
appreciate it.
Colombian coffee.
Yeah, Colombian coffee.
Why not?
It's green coffee though, but it's
oh, it's what?
It's green coffee.
Oh, green coffee.
Yeah, it's
what
green
is green coffee?
It's right before
you captured my attention.
Yeah. It's right before it's roasted, so it's not the black beans like you see.
And you drink it like that?
Not really. You can.
Okay.
You can. Like I've tried it. It doesn't taste very good, but it has a lot of health benefits. But it's literally I really trying to provide green coffee to the roasters.
Roasters,
yes,
okay. So I'm not your customer.
Well, you can be if you roast at home.
No, I don't have a roaster at home.
It's fine, but you will be probably drinking from a cafe that will be buying from a roaster that get green coffee. So
that's true. It's more
of a B2B sale in this kind of...
Right. B2B2C or something, but I'm not your direct... unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not buying the green beans.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think that's really exciting, and I really wish you the best in that next step of finding your the opportunity that can buy you freedom, financial freedom, and also able to help you like do something you love and help people along the way, right? That's the dream. Absolutely.